Welcome to our daily reflection for this Friday, August 23rd. And of course, every Friday we think about Good Friday. Every Friday, every week is like a little Good Friday in which we remember that our Lord has died for us. God did not have to become man and suffer, and yet he did. That's how great his love is for you. And so today, let's make a sacrifice. Give up a meal, give up meat, abstain from meat, whatever it is, in love for God and in love for those that we want to pray for. So it's always a good thing to do. Remember that today. Now, we have some beautiful readings as always, and on this Friday, we have a vision that Ezekiel has of a field full of dead corpses and dry bones. And then we have Psalm 107, which talks about God rescuing and saving his people. And then we're going to talk about the gospel in a minute. But let's look at that. God is the God who rescues, and that's what we celebrate in Psalm 107. And we see the depth and the extent by which God will go out of his way to rescue us when we look at the first reading from the prophet Ezekiel, that even if we've died, we're not outside of God's realm of being able to be rescued. Now think about that. In the world, we think we got to rescue somebody before it's too late, and when they die, it's too late. But it's not too late for God. Death is not the end. And we have to remember this, especially when we see the death of the innocent, the death of our loved ones. Death is not the end. God is still able to rescue, even from the grave. And that should give us great hope indeed. And that is one of the beautiful things of our faith that we have, that we know that God can rescue even in the grave. And so that's what Ezekiel sees. And God says to Ezekiel, do you see these dry bones? Do you think they can live? And Ezekiel says, I don't know, but you know, God. And God then reveals to Ezekiel, yes, these dry bones will live, and how God will breathe his spirit at the end and restore them and put their flesh back on them and give them resurrected bodies. And that is great hope indeed. Now, how do we get that rescue? Well, the gospel tells us the means. All we have to do is love God with all of our heart, all of our mind, all of our strength, and all of our soul, and our neighbor as ourself. This is the means to the great rescue, is that we love God and we love neighbor. And if we fulfill this twofold rule of all the commandments that come down to at the plot of every law, of all the things we have to do, it's about loving God and loving others. And if we do that, God will rescue us even from the grave. That should give us faith and hope in that love of God. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.